scrambles.
Well, my kids, so maybe the first, so the first real odd thing is that we've got this office here in Provo, Utah. And how did that happen? Just maybe to give you guys a little bit of context around that is I've been with Beachbody for just under 4 years. It was about 4 years ago in August that a guy by the name of Brett Blake, some of you know Brett, who had worked at a company that I worked at before. I didn't know him, but I'd heard of him, called me and said, hey, you should really like to talk to you. You should check out his company by the name of Beachbody. I go, well, Beachbody is this infomercial company. And that's all I knew about it was they did P90X on the infomercial. And someone that I was working with said, yeah, they do. They've got this network marketing part of their business. And if I don't forget, remind me to tell you why I never call this an MLM. Okay. Don't let me not talk about that. But I said, no, I'm not interested. We had been living in Idaho Falls, Idaho. We had just moved back and got our kids kind of integrated in school. We had family around here. I literally live, very selfishly, I put the offices here, but I literally live 2 lights down, just down there, so I get road rage when I hit the red light. Seriously, we have one light that comes out of our neighborhood that I swear the sensor's broken. So half the time you're to the left and you're leaning to the right, so I'm going.
Maybe it's actually fixed. It knows you're sitting there and
I've never been known as the most patient person in the world, so it could be someone trying to teach me patience. But Brett said you really ought to check this out. And I go, Brett, you guys don't even have a network marketing part of your business, and that's kind of where I've developed some expertise. And he goes, no, we do. And we started a while ago, and it's this young company, and you'd absolutely love it because it's not this multi-level marketing people. They're people that are product-oriented, they're young, they're energetic, they're coachable, they want to grow the business, they're this great group, some really fun stuff, you got to take a look. And I said, not interested. He said, we just got our family back here, we're not going to move to California. We'd had a chance to move to the Bay Area, and we just elected that we wouldn't do that, just because of family, and to build our dream home down here, and life was kind of good. And he says, oh, this is a testimony to no never means no, kind of a thing. And so he kept pinging, on me. He says, oh, you really ought to do this, take a look. And I said, well, we're not going to move, Brett. The job's in California, we're not going to move. So that takes, that's a decision we had made and put a stake in the ground. But finally made a decision. He said, just come out and meet Carl. I said, I think you'll like these guys. And networking is always great to have connections. So long story short, the day I said, oh, finally I gave in and said, fine. Because networking is great. It's great to have contacts, right? With people. So I said, okay, I'll come out. Well, the night before I went out, he said, so Jeff, he said, we just met with the C-suite, with Carl and other people that are running the company. And they said, if you like us and we like you, what if we would let you open up offices? You can stay in Provo and open up offices there. You'd have to do some commuting, telecommuting, stuff like that. But would that make a difference? And of course, that was the big hurdle. I mean, that was kind of like removing the big wall, for me, because otherwise we weren't taking a look at that. So anyway, the great story is they liked, apparently enough, passed the sniff test anyway, and Carl and others were good enough to, and Carl was great about it. He just said, I described it to him. I said, Carl, I just got my kids, moved back from Idaho. We're around family. We've got our dream home. We love where we are. And he says, and you shouldn't move. He said you should stay there. We'll make that happen for you. So the cool thing is we've been able to do that, and we've opened up the office. We've got a great group of people here, and we travel a bit. I don't know if everybody would just think, oh, you're doing business out of California or whatever, by the nature of the beast. So anyway, I feel very blessed to be able to do this because it's, we're home. So that's why we have an office here. And we'll continue to grow. Headquarters will never move to Provo, Utah, type of a thing, although I threaten Carl sometimes, But all the talent's really here. But it may be a while before we do that, unless California has the big earthquake and Utah becomes beachfront property. Then Cedar Hills is going to be looking down. That's going to be the new Malibu. Right?
Then you have property really expensive now.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a story about a tourist that is walking through an old, ancient, beautiful town. And as he walks through the town, he looks at the beautiful buildings, and he looks at these old houses, and it's just, you know, kind of spectacular. And he walks past a park, and he sees an old, ancient-looking man. And he says to the man, he said, "Old man," he said, "were there any great men born here?" And the old man responds, he says, "No, only babies." What has that story got to do with you guys in your business? You know, lots of times as you look at the business and you look at people, you know, yesterday we made a big to-do about Janelle Summers hitting Superstar 3 in her third, Superstar 3, 15-star diamond in her third business center. It's incredible. It's really incredible. And oftentimes what we tend to do is, particularly newer in the business, you'll look at those businesses or Lindsay's business or other coaches' business, and you'll say, wow, great men were just born here. It just happened, okay? And the truth of the matter is no, babies were born here. Babies started in this business. And they're developed over time. And I had a chance, as I was saying, I was up in Tennessee yesterday, and it was, you know, we were talking about what's the secret sauce for success. Okay, what is the secret?
Sorry,
It's a
it's a joke. They all
everybody says what's the secret sauce, you know, for success. And I've had a chance to travel with all the Elite 10, and we're always asking the same questions, and these guys can, you know that's what we do all day long. Is you know, success leaves clues. You know, and you look at that, and certainly there's some best practices, but the non-sexy truth of the matter is, I believe, and there's some pieces that come off of this, but success and these successful coaches, there's one key ingredient. I think there's several key ingredients, but it starts with one. The first is they've made a decision. They made a decision that they're going to work at this. They made a decision that they're going to give this their all. They're not half-in, they're not namby-pamby, they're not vanilla, they're not kind of, sort of, maybe, what if, hoping, wishing, the stars have to align, kind of a deal. They've made a decision that this is something they're going to pursue, and they're going to put a stake in the ground, and they're going to go after, at least for a long enough period of time, to see if it's there. You know, you guys have heard, some of you have heard, one of my favorite sayings is, sometimes you have to jump and build your wings on the way down. And maybe the better phraseology is, sometimes you have to jump and build your wings on the way up, okay? Because that's really where the learning, you do like that? Did that well. I think that's one of the real key pieces that these successful leaders have had. I tell the story about it. I remember when I was just in the business for a month or two, maybe just a month. I started in December. I was in January at a Super Saturday type event down in Orlando. Lindsay Matway was there, and I still remember this blonde girl come running up, and she just was kind of like, and it happens frequently, so it's, you know.
I don't want to
what's that? You know,
we have a great story about that for you, Joe.
Yeah,
I'll tell you later on.
Good. I'd love to hear. And it was kind of like this. We had what we called the 3 C's. We were identifying a success club trip back there, where we were going to go. And very honestly, we hadn't decided yet, and we were scrambling, okay, this, you know, for where we were trying to get locked in, where would be a good place. We kind of knew where we were going to go. But we said, okay, let's do the 3 C's thing, have a contest around it. So we'll do the Caribbean, Canada, and Cabo San Lucas, okay? So it's the 3 C's. And then people that won the most Success Club points in that month, that I think we did the top 8 coaches each month, would earn, they could pick whether they wanted to go to Cabo, to the Caribbean, or to Canada. And we already kind of knew we were going to the Bahamas, but it hadn't been quite locked in. It was a fun contest regardless. But Lindsay Matway came up, and she was new in the business, and she just said, I am going to go to Cabo. Mark my words. I will be at Cabo. And I was, oh, neat, great. You know, kind of, yeah, You'll kind of think, because you hear that. But there was something about her that just, because and then she sent me a message after. She says, I know you thought that I was just one of those, but I will be in Cabo. I will do what it takes to go to Cabo. I'm going to win this thing. And sure enough, you know, she's done that. She's built a great business. Some people will look at a Lindsay, and I'm kind of not intentionally picking